this marking needed here. How to tell him? No, here they need to put some marking. You started like. Okay. Good evening all. So before starting today's lecture, just we'll go through the last class what we discussed. Okay. So last class I discussed regarding the evolution of management. Okay, how management as a discipline evolved. Okay, you can just go through that, just listen, like how management as a discipline evolved. As a result of industrial revolution, there is a shift from domestic production to mass production. Okay, as a result of this mass production, people start thinking about a discipline management. For what purpose? Because due to mass production, like production is increasing, factories are increasing, so like they need to manage the things more effectively and more efficient manner. Okay, so in the pre-scientific era, in the last class I explained in detail regarding what happened in the pre-scientific period. Okay, and if you, for the exam perspective, you need to study from the classical, neoclassical and modern approaches to management. Coming to the classical school of thought, we studied mainly three theories: scientific management, administrative management and bureaucratic management. Okay, what is scientific management? Yes. So scientific management means in an organization, we need to take decisions scientifically. Instead of taking decision with the rule of thumb, each and everything we need to study scientifically, set some standards, then take decisions. So in scientific management, what we studied, like we need to study the contribution by F.W. Taylor. So I'll show the pre-IQ here. So the questions are specifically asking on the contribution by F.W. Taylor. Okay, very static area. Okay, you don't need to cover any current affairs for this particular topic. So scientific management, there are other people also contributed to the scientific management, but for the exam perspective, you need to study the contribution by F.W. Taylor. Okay. So 5 principles and 6 techniques of scientific management I discussed in the last class. Coming to the administrative management, 14 principles by administrative management put forward by Henry Fayol, and bureaucratic management by whom? Max Weber, bureaucratic management. So more questions are from scientific management and administrative management, straightforward static theory. Okay, so like 1 minute. This is from the introduction of management. Identify the key difference between a manager and leader. Okay, it's a general question. Once you completed your organizational behavior and management, you can write this general question. And coming to the evolution of management, explain the management concept of F.W. Taylor and Henry Fayol. Identify the key difference between two and their applicability. So how you will approach this question? Yes. Anyhow, you don't know like the, I know like, but general structure. The demand of question, like first they demanded the what explain each concept. It's purely static. I explained in the first class itself. Management is a subject where you will get 60% questions is pure static. If you study the static, you can answer the question. So static portions, they will not link with the current affair. Like other optional subject, you'll get a question linked with current affair. So management advantage is pure static. You will get the static question as it is. So you can explain the concept of F.W. Taylor and Henry Fayol. Again, your task is you have to write the content very precisely. 6 principles, 5 principles, 6 techniques, 14 principles in the administrative management. It will take a lot of space. So what you need to do means you need to practice to write in a very precise form. Then second part, this is the first part. So every question you need to identify how many parts are there in a question. It's very, very important to decode the question first. So for 15 mark means like 7.5 for the first part, maybe like, then next is identify the key difference between two and their applicability. So second part of your answer should be the difference between scientific management and administrative management, especially the contribution by F.W. Taylor and Henry Fayol, and you need to find a conclusion. Okay, once again I am repeating our mode of, like my mode of instruction for this particular optional. I will complete one particular topic and I will give all the PYQs from that particular topic. Instead of focusing on unit wise PYQ, we are focusing on subject topic wise PYQ. For example, evolution of management till 2025, how many questions UPSC asked from that particular topic, we'll try to solve. In the class, I will explain 2 to 3 questions. Remaining, I'll give us homework. So after every class, you have to spend some time for writing answer. Okay, so this will create more output. Rather than just focusing on unit wise, focus on topic wise. It's a very, very important thing I am insisting, topic wise PYQ. Okay, another question. This PDF I will share with you all later. What are the various approaches to management? We study 3 approaches: classical, neoclassical and modern, broad category. Explain the characteristics and limitation of any 4 approach. You can choose any approach. Coming into the classical, you studied scientific management, administrative management, bureaucracy, any approach, a neoclassical approach. So you can choose 4 approach, and first part is which all are the 4 approach. So you can address this question with the diagram. These are the 4 approaches. Second part, explain any 4 approaches. What? And limitations of any 4 approaches to management. Analysis with a suitable example. Okay. Next question. Pre-classical theorists emphasized more on developing scientific techniques to solve some identified problems. However, both scientific and administrative schools of thought given by the classical theorists were more pervasive in their approach to organizational design. Substantiate the statement highlighting pre-classical theorists and their approaches. What is this question? It's a straightforward question, but they frame in such a bulky manner. Question is the difference between pre-scientific and classical theory. Okay, so this is like you have very limited content to write for the pre-scientific era. Okay, so you can focus more on classical approach. The question is also same, like, so most of the time UPSC try to ask questions based upon the difference, comparison based questions. They'll give 2 approaches. You have to explain what exactly the 2 approaches, then compare both. Okay, this all are PYQs. Okay, today we'll study the managerial roles. 10 managerial roles put forward by Mintzberg. The names also very important. Okay, in the UPSC questions, they will clearly mention explain the roles by Mintzberg. Okay, there are total 10 roles under 3 broad categories: interpersonal role, informational role, and decisional role. So there is a question in 2023, explain the 10 roles by Mintzberg. For example, everybody, those who are writing management optional, they will write 10 roles. How you can differentiate your answer from others? So I will be teaching in that perspective only. So you can quote some examples. Instead of writing the explanation or definition of this particular roles, you can quote some relevant examples. So you can categorize your example as per the administrative viewpoint as well as the business perspective. So I'll teach one. First is interpersonal role. What's this image? Who is this? Modi. What he is doing? He's doing the flag hosting. Okay. This is also a familiar face for you all. Tata. So for example, in first image, Narendra Modi sir, he is doing a flag hosting. Second, Ratan Tata sir, he is doing an inauguration for a new event. What exactly they are doing? What type of duties from this image? What you understood? As a head, what you understood? What? Yes, because he is our prime minister and he is the head of the company, so he is performing some symbolic duties. So first role by figurehead. So I told like there are three roles, three broad categories. Under three broad category, 10 roles are there. So first category, interpersonal role. In interpersonal role, the first role is of figurehead. So what is the thought process behind formulating these 10 roles? Any idea? For example, future you all become civil servants, right? Imagine that you are a district collector. Did you perform every time same type of duties? Depends upon the situation, manager will act in different roles. Sometimes I'll act as a figurehead, sometimes I will act as a disseminator. So situation to situation the roles will change. So he tried to explain manager uh, in a as part of his duty he will perform different managerial roles. So he is explaining under the different head, these are the under these heads he is explaining the various types of roles performed by a manager. Okay, so figurehead means the manager perform ceremonial and main symbolic duties as a head of the organization. For example, if I become a head of any organization in future, as a part of my like as a part of my job I need to perform certain symbolic duties. This is figurehead. So examination you can write what is figurehead, like you can write the explanation and you can add some example like prime minister hosting a flag ceremony, or like you can quote some UPSC related example, one example, and one example business related, because we are writing management optional. Understood. You can mention the name also. And if you can relate with any current openings, like current events, like you can mention, it will be very impressive for the evaluator. Okay, you are linking the concept with current affairs. Okay, clear? Figurehead is clear. You see, GS students. Yes. So second, as a leader, what all are the roles a manager perform as a leader? Sometimes manager act as a leader, right? For example, he is motivating his subordinates. After this is a speech after a launch. Okay, he's just motivating his subordinates, employees. Sundar Pichai. So he is a leader. As a leader, what it's our responsibility to do? For example, you are the leader of your company, you need to motivate your employees, you need to direct your employees. So first we saw as a figurehead we will perform symbolic duties. So my role of this company as a figurehead means I need to perform symbolic duties. In this company my role is a leader, I need to perform leader, I need to perform my role as a leader means what I need to do? I need to create the work environment, a foster work environment and motivation, motivate and develop subordinates. Main keyword here is motivation. As a leader you should motivate, so people will follow leaders. You can find the question, first question. Identify the key difference between a manager and leader. So leader is a person who will always motivate and direct his subordinates. People follow leaders. Mahatma Gandhi is a leader, not a manager. Understood? So leadership is a great trait that we will study in depth in OB. Various type of leadership theories. Okay. Then under interpersonal role, third one is liaison. Any idea what's liaison? So as a district collector, he will collect informations, he will maintain a lot of network. Okay, he will keep networking. So I'm a manager in APL company. So I need to keep networking with suppliers, logistics, production cell, finance department, quality department, regulatory department, etc. Okay. Slide is visible, right? I'll be standing this side. Then be very more visible for you. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Then, like this example also, you can just read the example. A manager in a Tata company, he will also maintain relationship between network and relationship between different stakeholders. For what purpose? So here your role as a manager is a liaison, means develop and maintain network of external environment and gather information for the organization. So as a manager, your role is liaison, means you need to maintain the network, external network, and gather all the relevant information for the organization. For what purpose? What is the importance of information? What is happening? Correct. So without keeping network, without getting information, we can't take a proper decision. So decision making is based upon information gathering. So as a liaison, you will work as a networking person. Okay. Develop and maintain network. This is the keyword. Develop and maintain network with external environment. Okay. So you can quote example. Here the explanation is limited. Instead of writing advantage, disadvantage, don't go with that aspect. You can add example. Example, district collector coordinating for the public welfare departments, these and these things. Anything. In the study material also, I will try to keep 4 or 5 example as per your convenience and your comfortability. You can choose 2 example. One example, UPSC perspective based upon the general studies. One example based upon the company perspective. You should always keep balance between the subject as well as UPSC demand. Okay, it's clear lesson. So interpersonal roles, 3 roles are there: figurehead, leader, liaison. Figurehead means what he will do? Symbolic duties. You can imagine, like you can think about Narendra Modi sir. He is doing a symbolic duty. And coming to the leader, what leader is doing? Yeah, motivates and directs. Correct. And coming to the liaison? Yes. Yes, collecting information. Figurehead, leader, liaison. Clear? Max to maximum, you can learn in the class and write the answer. My intention also same. We'll do maximum interactive classes and I'll try to quote examples. These are very static. Maybe you may feel boring. Like it's very static thing. So I try to bring more current affairs into that because you need to differentiate from others. You have to find some your own strategies to differentiate from others. Everybody will write these 10 roles. Explanation is same. The same person put forward the 10 roles. So you just need to modify your answer. It need to be very presentable. At the same time, relevant content also need to be there. Okay. Second category is informational role. Under informational role also, he categorized 3 roles for the manager. Okay, first category, which is the first category? Interpersonal role. Second broad category is informational role. Under informational role, 3 subcategories there. First is monitor. What is monitor? What if? RBI continuously monitor inflation index, food price, fuel price, money supply. They are monitoring something, right? District collector. District collector used to monitor continuous, not information collecting. It's different from information. He is monitoring, constantly monitoring what exactly happening. Yes. So coming to the information collecting role, whatever relevant information, instead of monitoring, if it is needed, we will collect. We will collect and keep with the organization. But here he is continuously monitoring the things. Okay. Nidhi Ayog. So Nidhi Ayog reviews of SDG, you all are aware about the sustainable development goals. So Nidhi Ayog continuously monitor what exactly the current situation of sustainable development goals in some, sorry, some other sound is, okay, it's okay. So Sustainable development goals, by 2030, we need to achieve the first phase of sustainable development goals. There are 17 sustainable development goals. In India, this is executed by Niti Aayog. So they used to continuously monitor what is the status of sustainable development goals with respect to India. Okay. Then like simple. Now Amazon, some sales offer are going on. They used to get the data. Like they will monitor, okay, which category of consumer are preferring this category of product. Electronics, which category is in high. Cosmetics, which category is high. They used to continuously monitor the things. Any example, you can quote any example. So monitor means gather internal and external information relevant to the organization. He is continuously, he is in a constant view what is happening internal and external, and all the relevant information he will gather for the organization. That's the role of monitor. There, what is the role of manager? Liaison. You may get confusion between liaison and monitor. Networking. Okay, liaison is a person will do networking when he will collect information for the purpose of networking. Coming to monitor, he will gather all the information from the internal and external environment. So like coming to the liaison, he will maintain a relationship between the external people. Those who are external to the organization, he try to maintain network. Understood? The next is disseminator. Who is a disseminator? Any idea?
Disseminators basically assign responsibility.
Yes, that is disseminating. Like this is like also sharing the information. So, for example, you are a manager who is in a role of disseminator, means you will transmit the factual and value-based information to the subordinates. All the relevant information you will transform to the subordinates. So yesterday I explained 3 levels of management. Which is the 3 levels? Top level, middle level and lower level. So in an organization, in a formal organization, what we will follow? Scalar chain. What is scalar chain? Yeah, last class I explained scalar chain, one of the 14 principle of management. Scalar chain means the vertical flow of authority in an organization, explained by scalar chain. So last class I explained the difference between authority and responsibility. What is the difference?
Authority comes from the position of the designation.
Yeah.
Responsibility is even though you have authority, you have to do your role as per the demand.
Yes. Authority means it is the power derived from position. For example, you are sitting in future as a district collector, you will have certain power derived from where? Your position. So authority means the power derived from a position. Okay. In an organization, scalar chain means the vertical flow of authority. So you will communicate, lower level manager expect to communicate to the middle level, top level, the communication, flow of communication from top to bottom or bottom to down. Sorry, top to bottom or like opposite, like that. Okay. Sometimes top to bottom, sometimes bottom to top. So in the disseminator role, this managers disseminate the relevant information. Top level managers disseminate to the middle level. Middle level managers will disseminate to the lower level managers. So here also you can add some examples. Example, quote some relevant example of dissemination. Okay. Then next is spokesperson. Who is a spokesperson? Yeah. As a part of your preparation, you will learn, like you will lead PIB daily, right? Somebody represent your organization. They will come and do some press meet and disclose to the public what is happening in our company or what is happening in our government or what is happening in the government organization. They will do a what? What you can tell? Deliver the content. So spokesperson means communicates to the outside world on the performance and the policies. Okay. So here also a lot of examples are there for the spokesperson. So now you don't need to worry. You study company based examples. At the time of examination, anyhow you will cover in your GS paper relevant policies. So you can tell in these things the ISRO chairman communicated. It's an example of a spokesperson. You can mention the name as well as the event also. It seems to be very credible, and it's showing that you are a focused candidate. Okay. So once again, under informational role, monitor, disseminator, spokesperson. Clear? Then the third category is decisional role. What manager will do in a decisional roles?
Like we will take a more better and make informed decisions.
Formal decisions. Today I'll explain what is decision making theory. So first, under a decision making role, first role is entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur?
Who is the owner of the business who wants to start?
You can explain better. Who is an entrepreneur?
Somebody that has an independent charge of the business.
So entrepreneur is an individual who bears the risk of starting a business in the field of uncertainty about the future condition. So like entrepreneur designs and initiate change in the organization. I am explaining in the basis of existing organization. Even that time, Mintzberg also explained in a perspective of existing organization. Now we can explain entrepreneurship not in the basis of existing. New entrepreneurships are there. Okay. UPI. It's an example of an entrepreneurship. You can put anything in the entrepreneurship. As an entrepreneur, what they will do, the roles and responsibility of a manager as an entrepreneur means what? Initiate change, bring innovation, bring something new to the organization. If you are an entrepreneur inside the organization, it will call what? It's called intrapreneur. Understood? Anyhow, in detail in this unit, we'll study about entrepreneurship. Okay. So next is disturbance handler. Next role. Now paper leakage issues are going on, a big cockroach party. So I added here some exam paper. This is a sensitive issue, so I didn't quote exactly what it is. So like as a disturbance handler, manager need to deal with unexpected events. Some unexpected events, some unexpected issues are coming. Manager need to handle properly. Like example, COVID-19. Kerala flood 2018, there is a flood in Kerala. It's unexpected for Keralites. Okay, Assam and all are there familiar with flood. So being from Kerala, I know it's a very unexpected event for us in 2018 flood. Cyber attack. Then the Samsung Galaxy 7 battery issue. It's an unexpected issue for the company. Okay. So in these type of situation, unforeseen situation or unexpected events happening, so manager need to deal with those events. This is a role of manager as a disturbance handler. Okay, we studied about the contingency theory of management. There is a theory in management, contingency theory. If any contingency happens, we need to change our management style. Every time we are focusing on the same style, it won't help during an unexpected contingency. Okay. Then resource allocator, the familiar face is Nirmala Sitharaman. So who is the resource allocator? Who distributes, control, authorize and use of the organizational resources. Who distribute the resource? Who will decide? In financial management, we'll study regarding capital budgeting. Okay, where to finance is moreover into a resource allocator role. Identify where to invest, then find the source for investment and generating profit and how to distribute among the shareholders. The entire one unit we are studying regarding these three decisions only. Majority of the candidates are worrying about the financial management part, but the most easiest unit is FM. Three decisions. Where to invest. First, we need to identify where to invest. Then how to invest, like from where we will get money. Okay, if you are investing, generating, then also it's a problem for a financial manager. How to distribute your profit. These three decisions are roaming around financial management that we will study in your unit number 5. Okay, again, you can mention union budget. You can mention about advertising budget allocation or anything, supply chain budget allocation for a company. Okay. Then the last one is negotiator. Those who work, they know that salary negotiation. Okay, business deal. International trade negotiation. Our Prime Minister is doing a great job in international negotiation. Right. So the negotiator means participate in negotiation activities with other organization and individual. His job is to do negotiation and bring more business to the company in a company perspective. In the perspective of government, bring more collaboration. Okay. So you can write any relevant example, not limited to this. You can write relevant example. And why I added only 2 lines in the notebook, you will find 2-3 extra lines. It's like you will get 10-mark question. So 10 points, 4 sentences is enough, more than enough, including conclusion and introduction. Clear? Managerial roles. Elucidate the 3 categories of roles which a manager has to perform and perform as suggested by the Henry Mintzberg. This is the question in 2023 for 10 marks. Very straightforward question. Okay, so instead of writing 10 roles, first you need to draw like 3 roles. Informational roles, which are the first you have to like managerial roles by Mintzberg, and each roles, each broad category you need to classify. Interpersonal, informational, decision. Interpersonal figure get the leader, liaison. Informational 3 roles. Decisional 4 roles. Just first a conclusion, just a diagram. Then you can explain the 10 roles, 2 or 3 sentences. One or two sentences explaining what is the role, and one depends upon how many mark. If it is for 15 mark, you can go to example. It's for 10 mark, only one example is enough, because you will write total 10 examples. And conclusion, how you will conclude? Like that is a homework. Anyhow, I will give this question, you have to write. And one more thing, you have to write and send it to me. Like those who are new today, I'll explain the way we are expecting from you. I will explain the concept in the class. Okay, later I'll give all the questions. So what I am expecting, you can note in your notebook important points. After that, you need to write all the PYQs. Not only this one question, there are questions from the roles of managers. So first question, like you are writing in depth. Second question also asking the same thing in a different way. Like just half page you can show me how you are going to address this question. Understood? Maybe conclusion and introduction is different, depend upon the context. So what I am expecting, I am not expecting full length answer writing in the initial phase. For example, in managerial roles, you may find 6 questions total. First question, you explained everything. And second question also, if you are spending your time to write again, it's not a strategic work, it's a hard work. So in the second question, I will go through each and every questions what you are writing. So write introduction as per the demand of that question. Conclusion, body part, you can just mention the bulletin points. No need to write the explanation. So you, after every class, next week onwards, you will start this. You can submit it to me, and most probably I will, within 2 days, I will correct and I'll give the feedback. Okay.
Ma'am, a possible conclusion I have in mind.
Yeah, you can.
So I would say categorization of rules would help in a segmentation and focused approach towards survival of the organization.
Yes.
And also in sustainability for longer run.
Yes. Yes, every time instead of writing the conclusion, some like this way forward conclusions are very good. Introduction should be static. Like you need to introduce what exactly I'm going to explain in the answer, but conclusion need to be in a way forward style. It's very good. Okay. So first we studied the 10 roles by Mintzberg. Another is the skills by Robert Katz. Why UPSC is specifically asking people, certain people name, manager can perform any roles. Manager can do any skills, like technical skill. Every skill, if you take A to Z skills, manager will do. But they have to evaluate your answer. Specifically, they will ask the skills by Robert Katz. So you have to write this. So name is very important, and in examination also specifically they will mention roles by robot cons. Suppose if they are not mentioning the name, you can write any roles. Like if you are writing any roles, diagnostic role, any skills, diagnostic skills or intellectual skill, optimistic skill, every skill is correct. But in examination specifically they are mentioning what by Robert Kant's means you need to answer this. This is his original work. I took the screenshot and added here. So like there are 3 levels of managers, like management, whatever it may be, like top, middle and lower level. It's clear for everyone. Each level of management needs different skills. Every 3 skills by conceptual, human skill, technical skill needed for each level of management. But the importance, he is explaining through this diagram the importance of roles. For example, top level managers, they need more conceptual skills and followed by human skills and very little technical skills. What top level managers are doing, they are acting as leaders, not managers. They are acting as the leaders, they are guiding the company, so they need more conceptual skills. Okay, they are formulating strategy, they are the visionaries of the organization, they are the people taking important decision. They need conceptual skills. That's a different color. Little bit of human skills, because they are sometimes they will act as a negotiators, sometimes they will ask as a disseminator, like some roles you can relate, figurehead. So they need to deal with people also. Then very less technical skills, because they are not doing the technical job, so they don't need to worry about how to do the work technically. They need to be very specifically about how to run the business. That conceptual skills are very important for top level managers. Okay, then followed by the middle level managers. They are dealing with people, they are the link between top level and lower level. And middle level people, we can tell they are managers. Their role is to manage the company. Okay, so they need more human skills. What is the importance of human skills? I would say it's one of the most important skill a manager needed, deals with people. Human mind is optimistic. Okay, and dealing with humans are very difficult task. Okay, so here a manager, middle level managers, Robert Kant is telling middle level managers need more human skills. Why? What is the need of that? In organization behavior, we'll study about perception, motivation, attitude, beliefs, because managing human resources is a great task. So middle level managers focus more on dealing with people. There is the connection not between the top level and lower level. Most of the complaints from the technical people are lower level people are reaching the middle level managers. Okay. And the reputation of the company, everything is deals with the middle level people. Then next is the lower level. It's also called a supervisory or operational level. Lower level, supervisory level or operational level. Here people needed more technical skill, and human skills also needed, and very less conceptual skill. For example, a company worker who is working in a company, if you are asking them to take any strategic decision, they can't. They don't have the capabilities to do that. At the same time, if we are asking them to operate a machine or do a particular task, they are able to do that. So lower level managers, they need more technical skill. Understood? So if you are getting a question for examination, you should draw this diagram. And under the diagram, first you need to write an introduction. This managerial skills robot put forward a robot cards and all. One more line regarding that, and draw this diagram. It's must. Okay, and under the diagram, like this, you can put something like you cannot color during the examination, so you need to find lines or anything, and like explain like conceptual skill, human skill, technical skill, conclusion. And I am suggesting here you don't need to add examples also, because page is sufficient to do these things. Okay. Conceptual skills. It's clear for everyone. Conceptual skill, human skills, and technical skill. I'll just explain one more time. Conceptual means the ability to think creatively about, analyze, and understand the complicated and abstract ideas. So moreover, people are the entire success of a company depends upon those who are sitting in the top of a company. That's the way they are thinking, the way they each and every strategic decision by the top level management matters. You know the story of Nokia. So they are like in 90s, and it is they are the giants in the phone market, like Nokia people. So what happened? They didn't adapt to the new change of smartphones. They are very reluctant to change to smart because of the people sitting. It's a mistake by the top level managers. Okay, they are very resistant to the change, resistant for the change, and finally they are out of the market. The same time, you know the strategy of Geo. In marketing, one of the case study is Geo. Yes. So back, like that time I was studying in college. It's back years back. In my, I think I'm doing my PG or everywhere there is a board Geo. We don't know what exactly Geo. Everywhere Geo. For the 6 months they put symbol board Geo, and after that they started circulating free SIM. This is the conceptual skill. That's the skill I'm explaining here. Then they are circulating free SIM. Up to that time, internet is very expensive. For getting 1 GB, 2 GB, we need to spend a lot of amount. That's why they are spending free SIM. If you are taking free SIM from Geo, you will get free internet. So like that, they penetrated into the market. This is known as the penetrating strategy in marketing. So they try to penetrate. There are two major strategies in marketing. One is penetrating pricing and another one is skimming pricing strategy. So they capture the market. Okay. And once they capture and they hit the competitors, Vodafone and Idea are the giants in the market. They totally disrupted other competitors. Now it's a seems to be a monopoly of Geo, and their customer care service is excellent during that time. And wherever you go, you will get range for Geo. Understood? And previously, if you go to the hilly areas, you will get only range for BSNL. But Geo changed everything that time, not now. That particular time, if you are approaching Geo for customer service, they are delivering excellent customer service. You are getting change. So all people, majority, not all, majority switch to Geo. Once they capture the market, the actual strategy is out. They started gradually increasing the price. In market, we don't have any other option to switch. Now Idea is there. It's not like VI, Vodafone Idea merged. Who is Airtel? Geo. We don't have option. Okay, so we forced to continue in Geo. Here I am not criticizing the Geo part. I am just appreciating the conceptual skills. The visionaries, the skill the managers possess of the company. If they are that much conceptual and intellectual skills they are possessing, that's why they are able to frame such long-term strategies. Okay. Then human skills, ability to work well with other people, both individual and group. Again, in a companies, some people they will work in individual level excellent. But being in a group, they will possess a lot of issues and all. So as a human skills means you need to work individually at the same times you need to work good with the people. Some managers will fail in these things, human skills. They are excellent managers doing individually, while coming to the group it's very difficult them to manage the group. That again in unit number 2 we'll study about the group dynamics, how to manage a group, which all are the theories, principle and all. So it's the duty of middle level people, those who possess the human skills, to communicate, motivate, lead, inspire and bring trust. So top level managers they will do a figurehead role. Understood? Middle level managers moreover like they are like a leader. It's club. Sometimes top level managers also do the leadership things. Here they need to motivate. Human skills means you have to motivate, you have to direct, you have to build trust, deal with the people. Okay. Then technical skills, job specific skill. I'm a civil engineer. I only know how to deal with civil engineering things. I'm a mechanical engineer. I just need to know about the mechanical part. Okay, the more importance at lower level managers dealing with directly with employees. Okay, it's clear. Again, the PYQ. What are the different types of skills leaders use in leading? Okay, Discuss the reason why conceptual. While reading the first line, they are not giving any clue from which part of the syllabus the question is. You can read that.
Yes.
Okay. Discuss the reason why conceptual leadership skills become more important and technical skills go down in importance at higher levels of the organization. What is the demand of this question? What exactly?
It's the table you have showed.
Yes,
It's related to that.
correct. The question is about skills. So you need to use the word leadership also. Like the question is more about why the skills are, why top level managers need conceptual skills, at the same time why lower level managers need technical skill. This is the question directly from skills by Robert Kahns. By single word conceptual leadership, we understood, okay, this question is coming from managerial skills by Robert Kahns. Anyhow, this is also homework. I'll share the model answer, but you have to write. It's a sort of some work you are doing your own. And I told you don't need to write the questions you are on. Initial phase, you can use the materials. You can use the material that we are providing, and you can use the standard books. Some standard books I referred in the class. You frame the structure. So end of your preparation, you have a single notebook in which topic wise you write all the PYQs. And I told you left some space in every page. So if your page is like this, only write this much and leave a space here. Once you completed your prelims and once you find, okay, this is a relevant current affairs or a relevant example or a relevant quote, you can write there. Okay. So later you are feeling, okay, I wanted to build upon this particular topic, you can add there. So if you are writing entire pages of your notebook or your paper, you will not find an extra space to write the extra content. Again, you will deals with multiple resources. In last class, I told you one of the principle of technique of scientific management, standardization. UPSC also, it's very, very important for you to standardize your resources. Okay, be always, when we are doing management optional, always a smart worker. So for management optional, you should stick on the single resources, everything in under one umbrella. Okay, end of your preparation, your notebook or your material is more than enough for you to write the examination. So that's why, like test series, when you every week you have test series. So test series, you should not refer any material. Whatever it is coming to your mind, write as it is. Then only you can improve your writing. But coming to the homework, you can take assistance from any resources. And don't blindly follow Google and ChatGPT. ChatGPT always mislead us. Okay. So that's all from introduction of the management. We completed management, evaluation of management, skills, managerial skills by Mintzberg, and roles by Robert Kahns. Sorry, skills by Robert Kahns and roles by Mintzberg. I made a mistake. So this is one phase. All these topics you will get, all those topics we already covered, we'll get static questions. Decision making is little bit dynamic. Application based question. You will get application based questions only. Simply they will not ask what is decision making, what is the techniques, they will not ask. They will ask, okay, in this scenario, how this technique is useful. So little bit application type questions only you can expect. Previous question paper, if you go through the previous year question paper, few questions are directly asking from decision making. Majority questions are application based. What is the use of electronic meeting? What is the use of Delphi techniques in this particular scenario? Okay. Okay, what is decision making? You need a break? Okay, what is decision making?
Combining all the factors, how do you take a better decision when it takes some discussion with somebody?
Yes. So you decide to prepare for UPSC. So you go through this knowingly or unknowingly, you go through the process of decision making. So decision, maybe have a lot of alternatives, right? Once you completed your graduation, you have a lot of opportunity. You can go abroad, you can take, but you can choose a job, you can prepare for government exam, you can prepare for UPSC, but you end up in a decision that, okay, I'm going to prepare for UPSC. So decision making means it involves a selection of a course of action from among two or more possible alternatives. Simply telling, we have a lot of alternatives for a problem or for a certain. So from a pool of alternatives, selecting the best alternative, that is the process decision making. Not choosing the best one, like among the alternative, you are picking up the best alternative. Keyword is alternative, not the solution. Decision making is not about the solution. As a manager, from a pool of alternatives, you are finding the best fit alternative for your problem. So decision making involves the selection of a course of action from among two or more possible alternatives in order to arrive a solution for a given problem. Okay. Another thing, and features goal oriented alternatives are there, analytical and intellectual, dynamic, pervasive. Don't write in examination until unless they are asking the feature of the decision making, these points. This seems to be like very graduation or inter level. You can use this as sentence in introduction part instead of highlighting, because these are not that much relevant points. So instead of highlighting these points, you can include this in your introduction part. Okay. So stages in decision making. Again, if you refer the textbooks, graduation level textbook, there are only 4 stages. Like identifying the problems, developing the alternative, evaluating the alternative, and choose the best alternative. But again, I am telling, for a UPSC perspective, you have to write the stages in a little bit elaborate manner. First is identifying the problem. First, you have to identify what exactly the problem is. What is the difference between a problem and identifying and defining a problem? That is too different. Somebody telling that study regarding water scarcity in Hyderabad. Is it a problem? Vague. This is very general statement. Water scarcity in Hyderabad. At the same time, I'm telling you, study the water scarcity of Hyderabad from 2021 to 2025. Say identification of problem means we need to exactly identify for what we are taking the decision. So identification of problem is the first stage. Identifying, then diagnose the problem. What is the root cause for this problem? So you are going to study, your broad area of decision making is regarding the water scarcity. Then you need to find out the exact root cause, diagnose the problem. That's also known as define the problem. Then develop alternatives. What all are the possible alternatives for the water scarcity in Hyderabad? From this point to this point, you will develop a lot of alternatives, right? Then evaluate the alternative. For evaluation of alternatives, simply we are not evaluating. We will use quantitative tools and qualitative tools for evaluating. But exam perspective, you don't need to study these things. For your information, like knowledge perspective, I am telling, we will give weights to each and every alternative. For example, I have 4 alternative. Alternative 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will, based upon certain parameters, I will evaluate each alternative. Financial feasibility, technical feasibility, resource feasibility. So depends upon that, I can give weights to each alternative. So first alternative having high weights, okay, this is a decision I can choose. Because every decisions are not feasible for every organization. The water scarcity alternative in Kerala is not suitable for water scarcity issue in Hyderabad. Understood? So company to company, alternatives change. For example, some alternatives is good for me, that works for my company, that won't work for your company. So you have to evaluate the alternatives based upon the parameters of your company. Then you have to refer your vision, mission, strategy, goals, objectives, standards. These are your company documents. Okay, based upon that, you need to evaluate the alternative. It depends upon, I cannot explain a concept now. Depends upon the context for which you are taking the decision. You need to evaluate the decision. It may be financial feasibility, sometimes technical feasibility. So financially, okay, you are able to afford the company, but technical resources are not there. Okay, this is very, very important for a company. For example, you are starting a new business, you want to set up a factory. So you have a lot of parameter, water needed, transportation needed, human resources needed. Okay, so you will evaluate the alternative, main feasibility, risk. Risk is very important. Again, you'll study in depth in finance, capital asset pricing model and all. Risk is more. If your risk is more, if you're ready to take more risk, you will prone to get more return. Some people are very risk averse. They don't want much return, but they need to hedge their risk. Okay, and cost and benefit. Again, this is a term in economics. Just I will explain in 2 minutes. The 4 principle of economics. That's very important in all subjects. Scarcity, choice. I'll explain in the context of management optional. That's it leads to choice, lead to trade-off. First is scarcity. Economics are telling resources are scarce. What is economics means? Effective utilization of resources. So coming to the UPSC management optional. Scarcity. There is a scarcity because very limited academies are offering UPSC management optional. So you end up with the problem scarcity. Resources are very scarce. You have limited, hardly including us 2-3 academies only providing this optional. So scarcity leads to choice. Because resources are scarce, you will choose one out of the available resources. And that will result in trade-off. For example, you have 2 options. So you will think, if I am investing my amount here, what is the return I am getting out of that? Obviously, each and every individual will think about this trade-off. For example, petrol car and EV car. Suppose if I am buying EV car, what is the benefit I am getting out of that? Like, we are not thinking about the cost we are investing. What is the benefit? If I am investing 1 rupee, what is the benefit I am getting out of that? That is trade-off. We are giving something to get something back. And trade-off leads to opportunity cost. So, like, you choose management optional, but you have second best alternative, or you choose our academy instead of other academy. So by considering trade-off, okay, you thought you will come with here. Okay. Opportunity cost means cost of next best alternative foregone. So you are thinking, suppose if you are joining that particular academy, what is the benefit I am getting out of that? Is opportunity cost. So evaluating alternatives is very important in the perspective of economics, because resources are scarce, scarcity leads to choice, choice result in trade-off, and trade-off always you have to pay on opportunity cost. 5,000 rupees, you can invest in stock market or you can invest in bank. And you might sometimes think, if I am investing in the bank, I may get extra interest. So that is opportunity cost. Exam, you don't need to write all those things, but you need to understand, because this is only we are studying in finance. And you will choose the best alternative and implement the decision. After implementation, you need to take proper review and feedback. Now, sustainable development goals, they told they'll achieve by 2030. I'm not sure. But people are keep on reviewing and feedbacking. A new education policy. Okay, you can quote all those things. 2020, they introduced new education policy. Like they keep some standards. 2025 gross enrollment ratios, this percentage, 2030, 35, these all things. These are the various stages in decision making. Okay. Then coming to the theories of decision making, there are very, very less chance of asking all theories. Normally, you need to study 2 theories. One is bounded rationality theory and rational decision making. You just need to understand normative theory by Peter F. Drucker and descriptive theory at March and C. And it's not relevant in the context of examination. Context of examination, you need to understand bounded rationality theory and rational decision making. Okay. Yes. You may end up in confusion between what is rational decision making and bounded rationality. So rational decision making is pure economics, economic based theory. They are assuming everything based upon rationality. Okay, perfect market, okay, complete information. In rational decision making, managers focus to maximize the benefit. Like they are explaining, if a manager is taking a decision that will maximize benefit. This is rational decision making. For examination viewpoint, bounded rationality is very, very important. Bounded rationality explaining, while taking a decision, managers are bound with a lot of constraint. Understood? For example, you wanted to prepare for UPSC, but before taking a decision, for example, some people think that, okay, I wanted to go to Delhi, but sometimes some constraints can affect your decision. So bounded rationality explains that while taking a decision, managers bound up with a lot of constraints. It may be time, it may be cost. Being in that constraints, a manager try to take a best decision. Okay, this is a very this is a great theory, because up to that point rational decision making only there. So this theory falsify rational decision making and come with an explanation that what managers, while taking decision, managers bounded to with a lot of constraints. Not only managers, we can explain in our thing also, while taking a decision sometimes we are bounded with a lot of constraints. Being in a constraints, we try to find better decisions. This is known as bounded rationality theory. There are questions from bounded rationality theory. Just understand the concept, and I wanted to check how you will apply this concept in that answer. Anybody needs a break, we can take a break. Online also someone is there. Okay, I'll try to finish then early, but it's not. That's also fine. Okay. Coming to the techniques of decision making, examination, again we don't need to study all the techniques. Knowingly, unknowingly, you're studying all those things in your finance and statistics. Again, UPSC is very particular, they won't repeat. They are more talented than us who is making the questions. So quantitative techniques and qualitative techniques are there. In the perspective of first unit, you need to focus on the qualitative techniques. All these quantitative techniques, decision tree, payoff metrics, linear programming, you will cover in your statistics. Payoff metrics in your finance, this is covered in your finance. Simulation finance, game theory finance. Okay, game theory in your statistics, it's not important. Queuing theory in your statistics, participium in your production and operation management, cost benefit analysis in your financial. So now you don't need to focus more on studying quantitative techniques. Now you are studying these things, it will take a lot of time. Understood? So unknowingly you will cover these topics with your finance and statistics part. Now you need to focus on non-quantitative or the behavioral techniques of decision making, brainstorming, nominal group technique, Delphi technique, heuristics and electronic meeting. There are previous year question directly asking what is Delphi technique. Yes, explain nominal group technique, explain electronic meeting. I think in 2022 there is a question, explain electronic meeting as a mode of decision making. So simple question. Sometimes they'll ask explain Delphi method as a mode of decision making, or else explain the following methods of decision making. They'll give 4 points: Delphi, nominal technique, electronic meeting, and brainstorming. Okay. Brainstorming. What is brainstorming?
Evaluating various spectrum factors.
Yes. For example, I am telling you, I am giving a problem. Think about that. Don't think about anything, other things. Just try to develop ideas. Brainstorming is like it's a creative decision making technique. We are giving the space, we are giving the time. Think about, critically think about something, generate n number of possible solution for a problem. That is brainstorming, put forward by Alex Osborne. Why? Again, why name I am emphasizing? Continuously they are repeating the same methods. So our answer should be more like, what I can tell, more presentable. Instead of writing the definition, it's put forward by Alex Osborne. If you can remember, I'm not forcing you to remember, the names are not mandatory, but if you can remember the name, it will be very good. Okay, that's why I highlighted with yellow color. It's not a mandatory thing, but it's good. So it's a group creativity technique where participants generate as many ideas possible without criticism. Here, no criticism. Nobody will criticize you already. You are open to take, but it is not possible in every context. Company to company. For example, it's a project-based company, you can do brainstorming. But if you are sitting in a government organization, like tomorrow you will work as a collector or IPS officer, IFS officer, if you are sitting in that position, you cannot do brainstorming. All the decision making techniques changes context to context. So I'll just explain the process of brainstorming. First, define the problem clearly. Then invite participants, normally 5 to 12 participants. We won't call 20, 25 or 30 people, very limited participants, and encourage free flow of ideas. Here the ideas also based upon like quantity over quality. How much idea you can come across, come. And no criticism during the idea generation, and evaluate and refine ideas later. So you may get 20, 30, 40, 50 ideas and you will again do the evaluation. Here is generating the alternatives. It's a process of generating the alternative. Here you will generate the alternative, then evaluate the alternative. Maybe may or may not be you are able to find a solution for that. Examination also, when you are writing advantages, disadvantages, don't waste the paper. Advantage, if it is a simple question, don't waste your time writing advantage, disadvantage as the frame of that answer sheet. Like you can write like this also. For example, the question is all about brainstorming, then you can write advantage followed by disadvantage, conclusion. The question is asking 4 techniques of decision making, then don't waste your time writing advantages, point 1, point 2, point 3, below that disadvantage. Don't do like that. Or else you can do a table like advantage and disadvantage. Okay, once you start your writing, I'll check how you are able to. Next week, definitely next week we'll start and we will share the schedule prior. Materials also prior. For the next 1 week material we are sharing prior, so you have a base material to refer. And the schedules of every day's questions after the class, I'll post the questions also. You can start writing, and before the next class you have to send me. It's a hectic thing in the initial phase, I can understand, but most preferably you try to write offline. Suppose you are unable to write, you can digitally also you can create, but writing with pen and paper always better, because examination in pen and paper. Okay. And advantages, it's very simple thing. Encourage creativity, break mental blocks, you collective intelligence. There are a lot of advantage for brainstorming, not only limited to this. Okay, you can write any advantage. And what is the limitation of brainstorming?
You will go all over the place.
Yes, generous. It's not into specific things. Okay, sometimes like superficial ideas also we will come across in brainstorming. See, example, a company brainstorming on reducing plastic use in packaging and all. Sometimes like we will get very irrelevant ideas also brainstorming. Next is nominal group technique. It's somewhat followed by the government organizations. Nominal group technique. Nominal group technique means developed by Delbeck. Again, here it's yellow color highlighted option is your choice whether you need to remember or not. Examination, they are not asking who proposed this technique. So it's your call. Okay. Then it's a structured group decision making method. Okay, I will explain how nominal group technique is working. It's a structured decision making process. So here we will invite all the participants. Participants need to physically present. It's very, very important, not through online. So all the participants physically present. So I am introducing a problem. This is the problem. And I am asking them to write their solution or their thought process regarding the problem in a piece of paper or in a notebook or piece of paper. So first we are inviting the participants and we are introducing the problem to the participants. Then we are asking them to generate their ideas, not discussion. They should not discuss with each other. They need to sit individually. They need to write their perception, their ideas, their conclusion regarding a particular program. And we will give a stipulated time for that. After that, each and every member will come across and they will present their idea. For example, 6 people are there. For example, I am the first one who is presenting. I'll come and I will start present my idea. And remaining people, they should not criticize. For example, you need any clarification, you can ask to me. I am presenting my idea, I am giving explanation, and others will rate my idea. Okay, like that, each and every members will come front and they will present their ideas. At the same time, others will grade. Okay, and how we will take a best decision means first is silent idea generation stage. Participants write ideas individually. It's not only ideas, their opinions, their perception, their thought process they can write. The main advantage, main time it's an advantage, at the same time a disadvantage is also there is no discussion. No criticism, no open discussion. Silent idea generation. You are developing something, your own individually coming, presenting, giving clarification for that. There is no discussion, there is no debate, or there is no criticism involved in that. Then round robin sharing means each person share one idea at one time, one idea or one thought process. Group discussion for clarification. Here it is discussion, not criticism. While I am presenting, if you have any doubt, you can ask directly to me. Okay, there is no criticism involved. And individual ranking of ideas. Each and every person idea will give ranking. And which idea, like more ranking is there, that's our final decision. Finally, we'll come across, okay, this is a good choice, we can go across this one. Advantage, balance participation, reduce groupthink, ensure systematic evaluation. Limitation, time consuming. For example, government is planning some project for a long period of time. Okay, it's feasible. But you want to take a short span of time a decision, it's not a possible methods to go for. Less spontaneous creativity. There is no actually in decision making, in my opinion, criticism needed. If idea is criticized more and more, we will come with more refined ideas. An example, government task force using NGT to prioritize rural health interventions. Like government policies, they have time. They can do all those techniques. But coming to the spontaneous company environment or dynamic environment in companies, we cannot use this nominal group technique in every context. For example, something I'm planning to introduce after 5 years or 10 years, I can go with nominal group technique. But for any immediate action-based problem solving, we can't go with nominal group technique. The next is Delphi technique. So normally UPSC asks comparison between Delphi technique and nominal group technique. So nominal group technique, every participant needs to present physically. Delphi technique, they are not present, like they are not present physically. They will sit in the different parts of the world. Experts from the different parts of the world. Okay, so developed by Rand Corporation for defense forecasting. Like how this technique evolved, I'm telling, by Rand Corporation. It's a method of achieving consensus among experts through multiple round of questionnaire. Imagine that I wanted to take a decision regarding the extension of my company, or I wanted to introduce a new product. I find 6 experts in the marketing field in the different parts of world. First, I will create an open-ended questionnaire. This is based upon questionnaire. So based upon my problem, I create a questionnaire. I circulate it among the experts. First is open-ended questionnaire. So all the experts filled their questionnaire and send it back to me. So while go through that response, I will generate another questionnaire. While coming to the second round, third round, it is a closed-ended questions. Second round, again, I am sending the question back to the experts. They will fill and do. Like that, multiple rounds, we will do the questionnaires. Circulating questionnaire, taking response, evaluating the response. And end, we will come up with a solution. Majority of the experts are saying what? That's our conclusion. Okay. So select the expert. Then first round, we will give the open-ended questions. Then response are summarized. Based upon that response, again creating a closed-end questionnaire, circulating among the experts, and repeated until unless you are getting a stable decision. Okay, because experts are telling about 6 things. It's not a stable decision. Until unless getting stable decision, you have to keep on circulating the questionnaire. It will eliminate the group pressure. You are not aware about who is sitting in the other part of world, so you are free to fill the form. Okay, sometimes we have group pressure. In marketing there is a term bandwagon effect. Coming to the optional also, this is more over prevalent in the optional selection. Everybody is choosing this optional. I am also going with that. This is known as bandwagon effect. Understood? So in coming to the Delphi technique, there is no bandwagon effect. We are not aware what majority are telling. So we are free to give our opinion. Okay. Then leverage expert knowledge suitable for complex long-term problem. Again, it's a short-term problem. You need immediate decision. Don't go with Delphi technique. Limitation. Again, time consuming, depends upon the expert quality. You are choosing an expert, it's not qualified to give a proper decision, then it's waste of time. Suppress radical ideas. Example like predicting the impact of AI on Indian employment sectors. Again, for a long-term decisions only, nominal group technique and Delphi techniques are suitable. Okay, it's clear. Then heuristic method, normally UPSC is not asking, till now there is no question from the heuristic, but there is a chance. If you go through this year prelims question paper, we know that everything is uncertain under the umbrella of UPSC. So keeping that uncertainty in mind, I'm just explaining what is heuristics. Heuristic means, again, Herbert Simon coined the heuristics in behavioral economics. It's in behavioral economics. It's rule of thumb, like using some mental shortcuts. Okay, your own decision. Any problem happen, you are taking some shortcuts to solve that decision. It's moreover rule of thumb used for quick decision making under uncertainty. Something uncertain happened, you don't know what to do. Then that time, instead of conducting this structured decision making process, you are taking some decision immediately. That is heuristics method. Now you don't need to study in depth heuristics, just understand. And the electronic meeting, again, one of the favorite topic of UPSC management optional syllabus. If you go through this PYQ, they will ask question regarding explain how electronic meeting as a mode of decision making. Ask whom. So next week onwards, we will also do electronic meeting. So electronic meeting is what? What is electronic meeting? Online meeting. Using computers, communication network, and specialized software to help groups to make decisions. So during COVID-19 pandemic, everything is work from home. So people are taking decisions based upon online meeting. Okay. Then one more thing, if you are getting a question based upon electronic meeting, try to explain in the context of add some examples, because you won't get content to elaborate. Include work from home scenario and include the decision making process here, because here we are taking the decision virtually, not real. Like we are not like what we are using electronic medium to communicate and take decision in the electronic meeting. And you can highlight the advantages and disadvantages of electronic meeting. I added a question. No, I didn't. That's here. Up to what time we have class? Now what's the time? 7. 5:30 we started, right? Okay. So I will explain. I thought I can explain this Hawthorne experiment just once. It's okay, fine then. So one more thing I wanted to explain. Coming to this unit, to first unit, we have only 80% of content is static. That we can prepare right now. 20% is current affair. That is overlapping with your GS paper, CSR. There is a topic CSR, innovation. Okay. So up to 2024, okay, questions are very static, very typical stereotype questions UPSC. But if you go through the 2025 paper, they give more emphasis to relate the static with current affairs, a sort of GS type. So those who are preparing in the typical pattern, for them it's a very, very difficult thing. So what I am suggesting to you, initial phase, build your foundation. Your foundation is done, you write everything, later we will fill up that foundation, like we will do some extra interior works, first to construct the building, then we will do the interior works later. So CSR innovation, last 2025 question paper they ask, related to CSR, related to innovation. So I will only teach the basics of this for your better introduction and conclusion. The, definitely UPSC is not going to ask right about CSR and innovation theories. They will try to ask questions from the current affairs. Okay, applicable based questions only. So initial phase, I will only cover these topics from surface level, not in depth. 80% topic I will cover proper way, and remaining 20% of the unit number 1, we will do only surface level. Later we will conclude the things. Okay.
CSR is part of GS2.
CSR is part, yes.
As you said, little coverage would be enough and optional.
Yes.
Quality
And coming to management optional is overlapping with certain areas. Okay. I had another PPT for just explaining that. One is it's overlapping with GS2, GS3 topic CSR, innovation, sustainable development goals we will study, government business interface, international business, export, import, regional integration, balanced region development, NAFTA, WTO. These all things we are studying in are optional. So international business, what we are studying, what is export, import, what is NAFTA, what is World Bank, what is WTO, what is FDI, foreign institutional investment, these all things are the foundation of your GS3 economics. So it's overlapping with economics. Okay. Again, macro as well as micro. And coming in the financial management, you will study in depth regarding share, debenture, bond for your preliminary money related question is very important, and there we will study about various about the investments, so you have a clear idea regarding what is various type of bond. Okay, if you are getting any risk, in 2023 the most difficult paper of prelims, this 26, they ask question, very simple question from risk. Actually if you are a commerce background or a management student, you will simply write it. It's all about systematic risk. So we are covering that in financial management. So we always have an edge. I'm not telling UPSC management option is everything for your GS, but what I am trying to communicate, it will give an edge, a competitive advantage. In financial management, moreover, we'll study economics. Okay. In government business interface, purely overlapping with your GS. So we have advantage. Coming to the GS4 ethics paper. So we always have an edge because we are studying majority of the content of the GS4 in our optional. And coming to the case studies. For us, it will be very easy to do the case studies. And essay writing also, we can use this theories. We are studying a lot of static theories here. So you can quote as per this normative theory or bounded rationality theory. Understood? So it's showing that, okay, you are reading a lot of things. GS1, it's not that much helpful. GS2 and GS3 and GS4, especially GS3 and GS4, this optional will give you some competitive advantage. Okay. So that's all. Any doubts? Any clarity or any doubts regarding resources and all? Once we start the class, just do the process, and anyhow you will end up with a lot of confusions. Okay, you can contact me back that. So by this week, like before the class starting, you will give everything, the schedule for the next 1 week, and the pre-reading material and questions. Questions you will get after the class. And one more thing, again, I'm telling, normally our class is between like 5:30 to 7. But even though like in particular days in August and September, I'm not available from 5:30, that time we'll conduct class from 7. So prior only I'm intimating, like we will intimate the timings prior, and we will try to connect offline. Again, this is August, I'll again monthly once at least we'll try to connect offline, and accounting and statistics problems we will cover offline. It's very difficult for me to evaluate your progress through online, especially for the statistics part. It's again statistics also very scoring in the paper too, but you need a lot of practice, and this 2 hour is not sufficient for that. We will make some 3 hours classes offline only for statistics and problems of accounting. Problems of financial management we can do online because there are very few problems from finance. Accounts and statistics will do offline only. Any doubts? It's clear? Explanation, everything is clear? Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Now what you can use this and write a note, big notebook, protocol, subject wise marketing management already. Either you write in paper and later do this by your handy. It will consume a lot of space also for writing. But do it in the initial phase. Write notes. Very write notes initially. Write notes in the sense don't write explanation. For example, evaluation of management. So before writing the PYQ, just explain evaluation, key points, only key points. Okay, key things because you have a printed study material to learn explanation. So don't waste your time writing everything. Understood? For evaluation of management, key points. You can just know the topics: classical, neoclassical, modern. That's enough. The bullet points, and after that, write the answer you have to write. I'm very particular, but this will leverage a lot of output. So initially it will be hectic. I know that. That's what I'm saying. Don't repeat this content again. If you are explaining in one question in detail, everything next question I need to know that how you are going to address the question. So half page also fine, but try to write. Understood? And you can make up videos and share with us. But problems and everything. Yeah. You keep it, these all things. Then you have the class and all. This will substantiate your preparation.